Hey, welcome to the program here. We're with John LaRoy, our fearless leader at Apparel Redefined. John, dude, you're not at the shop. Where are you, man?
Oh yeah, we're out in Columbus at a trade show, Sports Inc. Um, Outstanding buying group made up of family businesses all over the country selling sporting goods, and we're here to offer our services. And ran into this guy here, industry legend Nick Wood.
Yeah.
And
John's the real industry legend,
Yeah.
this man.
Well, hey, we've got two industry legends. Nick Wood is in the house. Nick, happy Thursday to you, man. What's going on? Are you excited being Columbus, or what's happening here?
Yeah, absolutely. So this is our first Sports Inc. show, and it has been incredible. So, that with them being a buying group, I feel like the caliber of client is exceptional. So, yeah, I mean, we've landed a couple, we're working with Shipley now, which is a big web platform for kind of like order my gear. So, yeah, I mean, it's been an exceptional show. One contract kind of pays for the entire show, so we got a bunch of them.
it's awesome.
Well, that's awesome. So, Nick, let's dive in here. I'm going to let's do a little deep dive on you. I want to hear a little bit about your background. What or who inspired you to really build your career in fashion, branded apparel? Like, what led you down this road?
Yeah, so the origin story is actually pretty cool. Let's rewind almost 21 years now, so it's a long time.
Yeah.
I wanted to learn how to screen print. I was dating a girl at the time who was an artist, and she's like, "Let's make some T-shirts." As they all kind of, you're like, "Okay, let's figure this out." So I started talking to my parents, and randomly enough, my dad was working at a Ford dealership, and they had this driver that was like, "Hey, we're like building this big distribution company. We need help in the shipping, receiving. We'll teach you how to screen print, but we need you in the shipping and receiving side," which ended up being Chris Miles from Nortec.
Okay.
Yeah, it was very much the nucleus of Ryonet. So I take the screen printing class, and the first time you pull a squeegee, it's magical. You're like, wait, that first off,
Works. Yeah.
significantly more work.
Sure.
I think people think there's an easy button, which John has a little bit of an easy button. So yeah, origin story. My dad hooked me up with Chris Miles. Chris Miles then taught me how to screen print in one of the Ryonet classes, and they're like, hey, we need a guy, and yeah, that's how. So Ryan, Chris Miles, this guy named Marvin Gio, who's recently passed away, but kind of an industry legend. So I've learned under some goats.
Some serious goats.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Well, I love, there's always a story, right? And usually there's a girl behind the scenes. So there's, usually it's a girlfriend, then maybe dad is involved. So I love how you kind of pulled that together. And so what's awesome is we're talking here, GraphXsource. So share a little bit about your company. You guys, I'll tell you, it's very impressive what you guys are doing. Just how do you guys make the world a better place? What's going on there?
Yeah, it's great. First off, that's a great lead in. Thank you, Kurt. So yeah, GraphXsource has been around for a long time. The company was founded in 1984, so I think we're just hitting that 40-year mark. But even before that, there was the whole nucleus of outsourcing graphics was started by, I guess, his third generation, Brent, third generation.
Okay.
His great grandfather had a patch manufacturing division that made the patches that literally went on the Apollo mission. So you walk into Dallas, there's a plaque. It was Richard Nixon was the president at the time. But yeah, they Apollo 11, those patches that went on the moon, they manufactured. But as they had this big manufacturing division, they realized digitizing, it's a manual art form.
Yeah.
And so as they grew, they realized, hey, people could send this stuff in, and we could use our expertise and then send them back a paper tape to run on their embroidery machines. And then, fast forward another 60 years, and yeah, we're 900 employees. John being one of the absolute goats to work with. The volume that they move is a significant amount.
Well, I absolutely love that. And as a matter of fact, if you don't mind, I'm going to pull up your website real quick. I just want to share that real quick because you guys have a really impressive website. So,
Yeah.
John, can you guys hear me okay?
Yeah, sure. Go ahead.
Okay. So, Nick, share a little bit about your services, your solutions. What do you guys do here? I tell you, very impressive what's going on. Just let's hear what's happening here.
Yeah, it's a great. So the website, we have a couple different kind of avenues that you can go down. So we work with a lot of it's primarily B2B. So you can either do the a la carte, which is kind of a pay as you play. So if you need a vector redraw, a proof made, a screen print separation, a digitized file, kind of anything in that area. Yeah, there you go. Yeah, you're already logged in. Wow, that's impressive. Yeah, so that's our dashboard, and we use AWS servers, so we back everything up. Once you place an order, we archive it indefinitely. Yeah, and this is all custom software that we've built. So our platform, similar to Nomos, at knowing software architecture is it's a whole animal. So when you place an order with us, it either goes to our digitizing department, redrawer department, separations department. That then triggers a task that they have to complete. Once the files are complete, we re-upload it to the website, email the customer saying, hey, your order's ready to rock and roll. They then go through and download the files. You can have a preview. But yeah, we archive stuff indefinitely.
Yeah. Hey, Kurt, we've been working with GraphX for almost 3 years now, right? 2 or 3 years.
Time.
We just added a second artist, and they've been phenomenal. I mean, one of the things we did a vendor presentation earlier today. It's actually a really, really cool story. The guy's name is Johnny Cupcakes. T-shirt tycoon to the max. Just so creative. But one of the things that he said, it's not B2B, it's not B2C, it's human to human.
Yeah.
And it was really cool. It was really cool because again, very creative, haven't thought of it. And I was always like a little concerned about taking a resource that wasn't inside the building. We're in manufacturing. Kurt, you're the manufacturing marketing guru. There's not many opportunities to have people work outside your building. And really the only job that we can allow that for is graphic design, right? And how do you communicate the efficiency, the flow, the style outside of the building? And GraphX has just done a phenomenal job of assimilating with our company and really delivering and helping our existing team become more flexible.
That's a business that, coming from John, that carries a ton of weight. But vice versa, with our team, having Nomos, having the team, like the integration has been really seamless because I will say this much. There are companies that aren't, and you have to kind of organize the architecture, build the structure. But Apparel Redefined is like, if you were to draw an ideal customer profile, it'd be John.
Oh, man. I didn't pay him.
Well, that's music to our ears, Nick. We absolutely love that. And that's exactly what we preach. So for manufacturers out there, we just did a LinkedIn workshop about an hour ago. And that was one of the manufacturers like, hey, how do I narrow down my niche? And that's the thing is when you try to be everything to everybody, you become nothing to no one, right? And what I love what you just said, John, for entrepreneurs out there, we always like to say it takes a village, right? It takes a village to raise a business. And so, John, partnering with somebody like Nick, a company that always has your back and that's helping you elevate the company, how important has that been to your success at Apparel Redefined?
Sorry, Kurt, could you repeat that one more time?
Yeah, sorry. We're having a hard time hearing you.
Trade show floor.
Yeah.
How about, John, we always talk about like how important it is that it takes a village to raise a business, right? And it's so important to have like those, that support.
Absolutely, yeah.
I mean, that support system around you.
The support system is everything because in our industry, nothing happens until the artwork is done. Yeah. And if you have a delay, we talk about this on our other shows, Kurt. The Amazon effect has transposed on every industry, right? So everyone expects things faster, quicker. And in our industry, everything is around art. And if the art's not done quickly, you're now losing production days because that due date is here and you have all the sequential events that need to happen and that due date can't move, especially in athletics. Friday Night Lights is Friday Night Lights. They're not going to push the game to Saturday. You've got to have the stuff done. So having partners like them that we can rely on that get stuff done, and it's not just about getting it done, it's getting it done the first time, right? Because if you send that proof to a customer and it's not right, that customer might not be available to get you the edits. So we want to get them the artwork revision right the first time, every time, and their team really helps with that. So then after the artwork gets approved, then we can start doing all the other stuff to get the order done. So yeah, it's absolutely essential to what we do, and having that ability to kind of ramp up, ramp down, depending on business cycles, is something that's it's very, very powerful for what we do.
Yeah, I love it. So can you guys hear me? Nick, can you hear me? Can you hear me, Nick?
I can't hear you, Kurt.
Can't hear you.
I think you're on mute.
How about? Can you hear? How about? How about now?
Yeah, I got you now. Yeah.
Okay. So Nick, you were talking about ideal customer, right? You're talking about how John is an ideal customer for you guys.
100%.
Just share a little bit. You just mentioned 1984. You guys span over 4 generations, 40 years, 5 offices. You're in 5 countries. I heard you mention 900 employees. What's the key to your success on taking care of customers?
Oh, that's a great question. I think the biggest aspect of us is really getting ingrained. Like to give you an example, Nomos, like we're in there, we're operating as if we were an employee. So I mean, we are technically employees. Right. So I think that stickiness and like it takes a lot of work. There's a big. You essentially have to train us very much as if we were an employee. So once that. I was calling it like jumping on the grenade initially. Once that grenade is like, you got the standard operating procedures. You built up an SOP on your side. Once that's established, it's scalable. I'm not going to say adding a secondary person is seamless. It's not. It's another human being.
Right.
There is training, but I think the stickiness of it is learning that customer, and then ingraining yourself in. So you have to be immersed. It can't just be transactional. Hey, Kurt, you need this? Okay, whatever. We got you. This time around, it's like you're really operating, as if you're part of the team.
Yeah,
you are.
Yeah, I love that. So being a partner is critical, right? Being a partner is critical to the success, right? So next question, Nick, if you how can you hear me? Can you hear me all right?
Yep. Yeah.
All right, let's go here. You guys are innovative on the cutting edge. Give us a little bit of like the latest, greatest technology going on in your industry. What's giving you guys that edge?
That is a great question because I feel like as everything we're lightning speed advances. One thing I have to give John props for is he stays on that cutting edge, which oftentimes we don't get to see that. There's only a few people that have tech like that advanced. I think in terms of what we're seeing a lot is DTF. DTF has really kind of ingrained itself. So what that's done is it's a digital output. So as opposed to screen print where you have to separate all your colors, build this really, it has to be done by an artisan. It has to be done by somebody that has walked the path, that understands this is how it's going to print on press. That, I'm not going to say it eliminates it, but it really shores up that gap. So DTF, we've been seeing a lot. We've been seeing a lot of people try to mimic screen print with DTF. So using tonal values and knockouts. We've been seeing that a lot. I mean, we're on the forefront of we use Mid-Journey, ChatGPT-4. So we'll utilize that and kind of build a proof of concept. So we're not using that as the production file.
Sure.
Just because we feel like it has to be edited, right? Like it can't just be directly something from Mid-Journey. Hey, here you go. This is going to be exactly what you want. So what we've been doing is using that for proof of concept and then proposing it to the customer. Are we going on the right path before we spend 8 hours designing something only to find out you guys are way off the mark?
Yeah.
Which happens all the time still. But so ChatGPT-4 is amazing. There's some really good image tracing tools that would take some an 8-hour process that just kind of shorten up that gap. But digital is really where we're seeing a lot of innovations. Yeah, I mean DTF is really kind of changing that market. Same thing with DTG too. Like the true hybrids, the true inline direct to consumer is gonna that's where it's at. Short run, ship direct to the customer. That's taking over. Yeah.
So John, I think
apparel, right?
Just in time.
Yeah.
That's music to your ears, right? So you're huge on print on demand, direct to garment, right? Why don't you just share a little bit from your insight on technology in apparel?
I missed that one, Kurt. Sorry, what did you say?
No worries. So just piggybacking on the question for Nick on innovation, I know you're huge on print on demand, you're huge on DTG. Just share a little bit on your insight, piggybacking off what Nick just said.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. So like one of the things we're talking about at the show, this is an athletic community, right? And we talk about the importance of color consistency. So we've partnered with DuPont. We have the DTG, the DTF, both using DuPont systems, so that we can guarantee color consistency to the customer, right? The gold's got to be gold, the orange got to be orange, the red's got to be red, and whether you're screen printing, you're DTGing, DTFing, embroidering, vinyl, you need that consistency. And for us, it's really important, but it's also really hard to do on a digital platform. Like, we're learning as we go of what it takes. It's not as easy as looking at a PMS chip and mixing a custom color. You're using, in most cases, in digital, 4 colors CMYK to try and hit every color in the gamut, and it's not totally possible. So for us, like talking, I've never learned so much about color that I have in the last couple of weeks with DuPont and New Coat coming to our shop, but like there's what we call in the industry now delta, and the human eye can only detect like within 3 or 4 variants of delta, right? So we're trying to get our color gamut within 2 delta for every decoration type that we offer. So we're taking it to the next level. Because, I mean, the one thing with DTF, there's a pro and a con with everything, right? Our industry doesn't have a lot of barriers to entry. And now with DTF, those barriers to entry are essentially gone.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, it takes some of the skill out, and it creates efficiency and speed. But where you're going to see people like us, I feel like, separate themselves is that color consistency. Because with this technology, it's going to allow really anybody with essentially a bedroom, they can start making T-shirts, But the quality for us is really important, and driving innovation. Like where DTG was 10 years ago, people said, "Well, never." First, they said it was going to replace screen printing, right? And that's not going to happen. There's a part for it. We want to be that decorator that has the complete toolkit. You walk in, you got the Craftsman tool chest. What do you need? We got it all. And that's what we want to do for our customers. But not just do it, but do it better than everyone else. And again, it all starts with the artwork. If you can't get that artwork done correctly, it doesn't matter all the tools you have. You can have all the best tools in the world, but the artwork is what drives that product. And that's where Nick and his team comes in.
I've got to give John some props though, because you have a lot of customers that will not take the time to profile all of their machines to be talking the same language. Like hearing this, that is a master class in, like profiling one machine to the next is a whole different animal. So like, John, like they have to be, color accuracy is huge, especially when it comes to, athletic gold and, royal blue, right? Like that's hard to do digitally. So like having that profile, that's some next level thinking right there.
And I don't want to take the credit for that.
Oh,
that's Nick. That's Derek. These guys are sitting in our booth right here. Cool. They're the unsung heroes, and hours and hours of time. And so they're geniuses at it.
That's awesome. All right. How can you hear me now? I'm going the old commercial days, right? Can you hear me now?
Say it again, Kurt.
You know what? Maybe I should call you, John.
My phone's underneath here.
Oh, should I? All right.
All right. So be on my computer to make it level.
So how about Nick? Let's go here, Nick.
Yeah, call me. Area code 360 907
360. What was it? 360.
360 907 4926.
All right. Don't you just love technology when you're going live? This is awesome.
I mean, dude, but it's like we're at a trade show. So
that's right.
The fact that we can even do this.
In fact, we can even do this. So let's go here. So Nick, can you hear me now?
Gucci.
All right. Here's my question for you. You guys, cutting edge innovation. We're talking about understanding your ideal customer.
Mute on the computer. We got you on the phone.
Let's go here.
Yeah, much better. Okay.
Phone. Nick, what are you excited about for the future with branded apparel, and what are you looking forward to on screen printing and everything else here?
Man, I mean, I feel like we're at such a pivotal point with like, AI and like there. I think the big thing is with us, you can get to the proof of concept faster. So as opposed to, really kind of ping ponging these designs back and forth, which it had even like 5 years ago, not even that, a year and a half ago, it had to be a nucleus in somebody's brain or a 72 DPI JPEG picture of a card. Then that person would have to take that concept, build it out, illustrate it by hand, scan it into a computer. Now you can use, text prompts to have imagery, which is,
Yeah.
it's crazy. It is wild.
And really, like, graphic artists, like, again, AI is going to replace graphic artists. That's not the case, right? It's the graphic artists can be more efficient with their time.
Thank you.
And it should enhance. It should. If it scares you, you're probably not a good graphic artist.
Yeah.
If you can utilize the tool, what's crazy is like, hey, I'm coming up with an idea, especially when because we talk about in our industry, 90% of the art we create is recreated.
Right.
You're starting with a concept, now get it to the finish line as fast as possible. But there is the client that comes in and says, I don't know, I need a new logo, or we got an event coming up, I have no idea what I want to do. You can't get in their head and see the vision that they want to see. But with AI, you can come up with 40 different examples in 5 minutes. You know what I mean? And then you're able to say, hey, I don't like this one, I like this one. But that getting from concept to creation happens so much faster with AI.
Man, you summed it up exactly. And like what we've been training art, because full disclosure, our creative team was very scared to use AI. Like, there was a big barrier, and it's like, hey, like this thing is your tool. So really training them on the prompts to get to that end result faster. Yeah. And then, it's like, it's like John said, it's kind of springboarding that idea to concept to text. So yeah, it's a fast forward button on getting to the end result.
Cool. All right, I absolutely love it. I don't know, can you guys hear me at all?
Yeah, we can hear you.
You can hear me now? Okay, awesome.
Yeah.
All right, so John, plug your ears. Nick, when we came on the call, I asked John to plug his ears. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
John's got to plug his ears. What makes we were talking about John being a legend. What makes John LaRoy such a legend at Apparel Redefined?
Oh man. Okay. Let's start out. At the beginning. Okay. So first off, it's extremely rare for somebody to build their own software in this industry. Let me expand on that a little bit further. There's a lot of out of the box software solutions. That's cool. It's very rare to kind of have somebody build the architecture and pull from the customer back and eliminate those barriers. Like, first off, that, it shows as a super organized person in general, let alone kind of like eliminating all of those pitfalls on a normal t-shirt order. So that's legendary in its own. But secondly, John is on the forefront. Like, we're not talking about on the screen print side, which has obviously been, on the forefront for years. Like direct to consumer, it takes a lot of effort to be on that forefront. So it's not just learning the process, like really understanding how do we pull from that customer back and just be that broad tool chest. And it's difficult. Like, it's probably the hardest thing to do. You know what I mean? Like, so yeah, somebody that can really like intellectually dissect, okay, let's pull from the customer back, let's eliminate the barriers, let's make sure that when we have this order, it's being checked in at the exact same time as the screens are, like all that stuff is hard. The hardest thing to do. So yeah, I mean, that's just one of the many reasons. And John's just a gangster, like, like homie, like text him about sports, like, yeah, just the guy. So
he's just a guy. So John, can you hear me?
Yeah.
Awesome. I appreciate it.
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
So John, can you hear me?
Yeah.
All right, let's embarrass Nick. What makes Nick such a legend in the industry?
Dude, I mean, where do I start? But first of all, again, I got to give credit to my team because everything Nick said, I appreciate, but it's not just me. My team is the engine behind all innovation, all execution, and it's not possible without them. But to Nick, okay, so I met you, probably about 3-4 years ago, and at first, and no lie, I'm like, who is this guy? You know what I mean? Like when you meet people that are this authentic, it sometimes feel like, is it fake? Is it facade? And dude, the genuine authenticity that comes out of this guy is exuding, and it precedes him in the industry. Everybody knows Nick Wood. I mean, Nick Wood's on speed dial on everyone's phone. He comes to trade shows. He's a magnet. People just are glued to him. Now you got his number.
Let's go, baby.
But it's like, it's not fake. It's absolutely 100% real. He's got your back. He's invested in your success. Whether it's networking, GraphXsource GraphXsource, whether it's, hey, connecting you to a client, potential fit. I mean, this guy, he's rare. He's really rare. That's why he's such a legend, because it's everything he does. Like, you talk about how do you build a business, you give first. He is the epitome of giving first, and just a great guy. Great guy.
Bro, let's knock it out, bro.
Hey,
it takes a lot sometimes, but you just got to do it. It's like, all right, let's get to the end. Like, what is the shortest path?
That's right. All right. So, hey, I love the bromance, man. I love the bromance. So let's take it home, guys. So again, you're at a trade show in Columbus. This is absolutely awesome. Let's take it home. Nick, parting thoughts, words of wisdom that you want to share as we wrap up our program today.
Yeah, sounds great. Let's kind of focus on where we're at first, and then kind of like wrap it up. This show has been incredible. Like, I was talking to the show organizer, Tiffany. We were talking about John, and because this is our first show, right? So we're kind of learning the lay of the land, but it's been a really, really successful show. Trying to think, business growth. I think connecting with Chipley was a big win for sure. We're gonna send a PM out to their shop on probably sometime next week.
Nice. Okay.
So it's just been a good show.
Awesome, John. Parting thoughts, words of wisdom as we wrap up today. What do you think?
Parting thoughts for me is when you get a VRBO, do a Google Earth and make sure, as nice as the house looks, the area is also important. And then also, don't assume that every car is a Lyft or Uber, because I just started loading our stuff into what I assumed was an Uber. We got a 40-inch TV. We got all of our trade show stuff. This guy could have drove away and taken everything. And he kindly was like, "What are you doing?" I'm like, "I thought you were the Uber."
Do I know you?
Yeah.
Hey, speaking of, that happened last night to us as well too. We started hopping into an Uber, and the guy was like, "Are you like?"
Yeah.
I was like, "Oh, I'm sorry."
Are you carjacking me? Usually it happens in the front seat, not in the back. Yeah.
So if you guys need bail money, John, just text me, okay?
Okay, we'll do.
Yeah, if you guys get in trouble. So, all right, why don't we wind down? How about a big round of applause for Nick Wood?
This guy's the GOAT, the actual GOAT.
This guy's the GOAT. So I love it. So, hey, I wish I was with you guys when you're in Columbus. Hey, I got to give a shout out to the Buckeyes when you're in Columbus, right?
Yeah.
Give a shout out to the Buckeyes,
alma mater,
right?
dude. Right in Ohio State's backyard. Yeah.
That's right. So, hey, John, you guys have a great time. Stay safe. Enjoy yourself. Keep crushing it. We appreciate you. Nick, thank you, my friend. It was an honor, privilege hanging out with you today. You guys have a blast. And, John, we'll be back next week, brother.
Sounds great. Thanks, Kurt.
Yeah, thank you.